This is your boy Brandon Correia, aka EF Hutton of Entertainment, and we are back with another review. And the review we got up today is She-Hulk episode 5. And if you are interested in content like this, all the big name IPs, reviews, She-Hulk, Andor coming up, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, all that good stuff coming up. If you would be interested in content and reviews involving content like that, subscribe to the Brandon Correia Network. Now let's get into She-Hulk episode 5. Now again, this episode is probably the shortest episode so far. I think it was 30 minutes including credits, so it was like 20 something if you minus the credits. And that's probably one of the biggest problems that I have with the show so far is I know that they extended it to 9 episodes, but it feels like they kind of just shortened the episodes and then extended it, where all the series before we were getting like at least episodes that were kind of creeping up to the 40-minute mark. So I don't know how I'm feeling. The 30 episodes, I know they're trying to make it feel like a quick 30-minute courtroom comedy sitcom in a sense, which they are doing a really good job of that. And I'll get into that down the line. But I do think a little bit more time with these episodes would give a little bit more things to be fleshed out. And not only that, I feel like they would be able to lay more, like all these little kind of plot lines that they're laying. I feel like with only 4 episodes left, and if the rest of the episodes are still only going to be like half in that half an hour mark, they're going to have to kind of get a lot of stuff done, not only with introducing like that boss character who's trying to take her blood, but also I feel like they're going to have to resolve where her place is as a superhero, right? Because clearly in this episode, I'm going to get into it down the line, so stick around, about how it seems like they're trying to position her more as an Avenger, and that she is going to be part of the team. And I also want to mention that I'm not loving the show, but I do like it. I enjoyed it. It's, you know what I mean? It's something when it's coming on during the week, it's something that I know that it's coming on, and like I don't mind going to you know what I mean, to have something to watch. So I'm not loving, like I said, I'm not loving it, but I'm enjoying it for what it is. But in this episode, we see the continuation from last episode, where we see Titania basically copy or trademarking the name She-Hulk so that she could use it for her brand and her name, and just she could capitalize on it. So we basically see the continuation of that. And we see Jen basically having to resolve that because her boss was like, no one's going to want to hire us if we have these problems going on with our own lawyers, that we can't even handle our own problems. So she gets paired with that lawyer that we see in a couple episodes ago that's at the firm, like the black lawyer. And she ends up coming clutch and basically saves the day. And what Jen basically uses to kind of clear her name is that she made a dating profile in the episode, I think it was last episode or maybe the episode before, but we basically see her bring all those mans that she went on dates with, and all of them basically verified that. They were like, yeah, like we went on dates with She-Hulk. We saw that she was a She-Hulk profile, and we went for that. So they all kind of confirmed it, and it was just kind of a little harsh in the moment because a lot of the guys were like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? We were looking forward to see She-Hulk. Like, She-Hulk's a great person, and just kind of not really paying any mind, or not even acknowledging Jennifer Walters herself. So it's just like, that's kind of like a battle that she's going with, because she's not trying to like embrace the She-Hulk persona, but everyone around her seems to want her to, and it seems to love that part of her. So I feel like a lot of this show is really predicated on her trying to find that balance, and her trying to find her, and just her trying to become more comfortable with her being the She-Hulk, and her accepting that side of her, and the fact that not the point of view of that people like her better, but the fact that there is this part of her that is amazing, that is incredible, right? So I think it's really just to show that how she's going to continue to kind of embrace that part of her. And like I said, it was only 30 minutes, so there wasn't much. So the biggest thing that kind of popped off in this episode was we were basically introduced to the MCU's version of Edna from The Incredibles, right? The Edna from The Incredibles that made all the superhero costumes, right? For all of them in The Incredibles. You know what I mean? The little short girl, mushroom hair, right? And we basically get introduced to a individual that basically makes superhero costumes for certain superhero individuals in the MCU. And She-Hulk's assistant and Pug, the other lawyer that's at the firm, he basically comes in asking Nikki for a favor because he wants 2 pairs of the Iron Man 3s, which I love that in world they're making shoes around the superheroes, as in like the Jordan 5, the Jordan 1s, like all that, right? How they're making shoes basically around the superheroes. So that I found that really funny. But he was like, I need a favor. So she was like, I need a favor to like with like your tailor, or like a good tailor, to kind of help me with Jennifer Walters. So he introduces her to this, like, you know what I mean? He was like, my hookup basically told me about this place. So they go and they get introduced to this guy that makes superhero costumes. So we see that, and in this frame, there's a lot of like Easter eggs in the background and like things on the shelf that kind of foreshadow and are just kind of Easter eggs to certain superheroes in the MCU. So there's obviously scenes in between that with the courtroom stuff, them dealing with that. And then at the end of the episode, we see her celebrating with the black lawyer. You know what I mean? Them having a nice bonding moment. And then she ends up going to get her suit because the lawyer blasts her clothes, or like the suit that she's wearing again. So she ends up going to get her suit from this individual. I can't remember the guy's name, Alonzo maybe, or I can't remember if that was Pug's hookup, but I can't remember the guy that was actually doing the suits. She goes to pick it up. So she's actually going to get a lawyer button-up suit that could grow and shrink with her, right? But then we see him pass her another costume, kind of foreshadowing that that's going to be her superhero costume, where she's like in that purple, where when she's like fighting and doing that stuff. So she got two costumes, and the episode ends, or I can't remember if it was or if it was a post credit, but we basically see that there's a couple suits hanging up, and we see the maker of all these suits put a box down with the Daredevil helmet in it, foreshadowing that next week's episode, because we all know from trailers that Daredevil is going to be in the show next week. So we basically see that this is, you know what I mean, that he's going to be in the episode. He's coming to LA because the show takes place in LA, but he got this guy to basically make him a suit, and that's probably a big reason why he's coming to LA basically. So very, very interesting stuff. And because of this is kind of like a big development. So I'm very interested to see what other superheroes this guy's doing costumes for, or suits for, right? And if they're going to bring him in down the line to kind of do other superhero costumes and suits. Because so far, like, and again, now that he's here and we know him, has he been doing like Captain America's star suit that he redid, or, you know what I mean, a lot of it, or Black Widow suit, or Falcon, how much involved has this guy been in the suits creation for the hero so far in the MCU? Like, I'm interested to see if they're going to address that at all. So I think that is it for my She-Hulk episode 5 review. Like I said, not much in this episode, but there were some good Easter eggs that we could hang on to, and some plot points that we could kind of look at and be like, okay, they were somewhat resolved. But again, with only 4 episodes left, it really seems like they're going to have to kind of rush through a lot to kind of tie up the show, right? Because the 30 minutes is really short. So that is it for this video. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you think you'd be interested in content like this, like I said, I got She-Hulk reviews on here, Rings of Power reviews on here, House of the Dragon reviews on here. With Andor coming up, I'm going to be having reviews for those episodes on here. We got trailer reactions, got the Brandon Correia podcast with my co-host Damar, the long form. I mean, if you like long form content, I dropped that here on my YouTube channel as well. So subscribe to the Brandon Correia Network. You will not regret it. I appreciate you for watching. Catch you next time.